We all know the feeling. You spend hours taking and editing a photo that you think is gorgeous and put it on Instagram only for it to get no likes. I'll say right off the bat, it's not your fault. Instagram is 100% focused on short form video content to compete with TikTok for views and advertising money. And what used to be a home for photographers now. So, over the past month, I've been experimenting with a new platform and a new way of posting, and I think I've got it, and I want to share that with you. The answer is Reddit. Reddit offers an entirely different way for people to view content. It's organized into subreddits, which are smaller communities with one particular content niche. And this can be anything. It can be a book someone's reading, a camera they own, a movie that they're watching. It can be a city, and it can also be larger communities that focus on one type of photography. As a landscape photographer, I'm getting a lot of traction on my photos on a subreddit called Earth Porn. And yeah, it's a little funny, but sometimes I'm getting 100 times the engagement on my photos compared to when I post them on Instagram. Okay, so in the next little bit, I'm going to teach you how to come up with a Reddit posting strategy so that you can get the engagement on your photos that Instagram used to have, but doesn't anymore. All right, I've written down some of the ways that Reddit is just better, more accessible than Instagram. The first and I think most powerful one is that Reddit makes it a lot easier to find your niche. Now, previously in Instagram, you would do this with hashtags, but on Reddit, you've got these subreddits, which operate similarly, but they're different in that the content is moderated. The content has rules that you're supposed to post within, and your content will get rejected if it doesn't meet those rules, meaning that there's not a lot of spam. The second thing I like to think about is there's no entry fee. When you post a photo on Reddit, it just goes into that subreddit and people start viewing it in the news section. It doesn't matter if you have followers or if you've ever posted before, your photo is going to do good or bad based entirely on its quality alone. So it's very easy to get a lot of engagement on your photos very quickly if it's very good. And I think another thing that's very important for me is that Reddit offers a really good way to get feedback. No longer are you just seeing the number of likes. It actually has an upvote versus downvote percentage, and you can see of the people who voted on it, how many of them liked it or didn't like it. You'll also get lots of activity in the comment section because it's mostly a web-based platform and people can get a little bit more zealous with the typing. You also aren't going to find players on Reddit that I find particularly annoying. The first that I think nobody likes is the sort of Instagram models. Those don't really show up on Reddit at all. The second is that on Instagram, you've got these kind of aggregator accounts, and they grow gigantic following, taking photos from everybody else and reposting them. Then all these photographers are just pining to try to get their photo featured by these aggregators when the reality is it's just that there's no algorithm raising good quality content up. The other thing is that most of the subreddits you're going to be posting in, they don't like self-promotion, which means they're not really looking for content that's going to be linking off into your Instagram to farm likes. They want your photo to be first class on their platform, and they want to be able to see the best content. The last thing is that there aren't really businesses on Reddit that are clogging up your feed with offers of, giveaways or discounts of these other things. What you see on Reddit is, I would say 99% just user submitted content, and that's it. So let's go take a look at some of the examples that I have from my experimentation and see the difference between the Reddit and the Instagram likes and engagement on these photos. And now it's time for everyone's favorite photography tool, spreadsheets. So I pulled out 10 photos that I posted on Instagram and on Reddit and just did a comparison of a few different numbers. The first is the reach number, which is the number of people that platform showed this image to. And then I've equated the Instagram likes for the Reddit upvotes. I've then calculated a percentage out of like the reach versus the number of likes. I would consider this as like a conversion rate from reach to like. And then I've sort of totaled those in terms of Instagram versus Reddit into how much more reach Reddit gave me and how much more likes or sort of upvotes that Reddit gave me. And I've got a total here. So to read this Falkers Falls example, right, on Instagram, I got 412 views, basically, but that only resulted in 97 likes, or a 23% chance of liking a photo if you had seen it. Meanwhile, on Reddit, they showed that to 1.2 million people, and I got 13,000 upvotes for it. Now, the like percentage on Instagram is 23%, while the upvote rate on Reddit is sort of a little more than 1%, but I got 134 times more sort of engagement on that photo on Reddit than I did on Instagram, and definitely the reach. They showed it to nearly 3,000 times as many people as Instagram did. So I think there's two sort of stats that I think are interesting here as a difference between what Reddit does and what Instagram does. On Instagram, anytime that Instagram showed a photo to somebody, they had a 13.5% chance of upvoting it or liking it. Whereas on Reddit, I got many, many, many more people looking at the photo, but I only had a 1.5% chance of that person interacting with it, giving it an upvote. But still, my photo had a distribution that was a lot wider. So on average, Reddit is showing my photo to 121 times more people than Instagram is, and I'm ending up with 19 times the likes. On specific examples, I've got, two examples here where I've got more than 100 times the likes that I did the upvotes on Instagram, but really it's that reach percentage. You got to think that I've been keeping my Instagram account going for like 5 or 6 years, and I'm posting lots of things to it. I'm investing in it. Meanwhile, this Reddit account was fresh this year. I didn't need to have a long-standing history of people following me because anytime I posted a photo, the followers of that subreddit were the first people shown these photos. So the reach is just so much greater here, and the likes, again, a lot larger. Finally, I want to leave you with some steps to follow so that you can get the same kind of success that I did on Reddit. The first is find and follow some photography niche subreddits. For me as a landscape photographer, that's the subreddits of earth porn, winter porn, waterfalls, and I also sometimes post my photo in the subreddits for the provinces of Ontario or Alberta. And make sure that those subreddits are fairly large. You're looking for a subreddit with a subscriber base of 500,000 to, multiple millions of people. The second thing you need to do is review the rules of the subreddits you followed. If the photo you post doesn't meet the rules of the subreddit, oftentimes it's just going to get removed, and sometimes you can get banned from that subreddit. For instance, in the earth porn subreddit, you really can't put any human-made objects. Here are 2 photos that got immediately rejected as I was testing this out. The third thing you're going to do is post your photos. Instagram still pretty much forces your photos to be square, a little taller than square, a little wider than square, but you can post really anything that you want on Reddit. Even if you want to show off a very wide panorama or a very tall photo that you're very proud of, you can do that on Reddit. For me personally, vertical landscapes have worked the best, but that's also my style, so I can't really call that conclusive. The next thing you'll want to do is prepare for a lot of comments. Reddit is worldwide, and usually a post will be visible for 24 to 72 hours, and Reddit likes controversy, so the more and more that you're responding to comments, the more and more your post is going to be visible. And actually, you don't want to just thank people if they say, hey, that's a great photo. You want to see if you can get even more comments out of that user or other users. So respond with something that might evoke more questions or more comments. So finally, go ahead and post a lot. If you've never posted on Reddit before, go into your back catalog and just start posting everything that you're proud of. Any great photo is going to get lots of engagement on Reddit. Well, for me, Reddit has become a new home for my photography, and I'm really enjoying a lot of the engagement that I get on there. Lots of people are noticing and commenting positively on the things that I post. I hope in 2024 the Reddit community can grow a little bit larger in photography, and I hope to see you there. Thanks very much for watching. Bye for now.